You're listening to One of a Kind Milwaukee, a podcast. I'm Angela, your host. And I'm super excited because today is our very first Fit Mix Discovering Unique Workout Styles segment. And on this very first episode, we'll be featuring Pole Factory MKE. Super excited to not only try out Introductory to Pole with Pole Factory MKE, but also to meet Terri, the founder and owner, and hear her story and the benefits of pole dance fitness. And I have to say that my arms were still so sore days after, but I have to say it really was mind over matter when it came to being able to literally lift my body weight, for example, up to do a pole sit on the, I did not think I would, one, be able to do that. I shared a video shortly after the class on social media, on the Instagram, and I was just dumbfounded. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to do that. None. I can't do a push-up, okay? How am I gonna do that? Well, I did it. And I honestly think it's a mix of the other amazing women in the class, Terri as an instructor, the environment just in general, and the space, and then really pushing that mind over matter, concept, and be like, no, you can do this, and the class was a lot of fun. I took my friend Angelica with me as a guest, and she enjoyed it as well. She too was like, whoa, I had no idea how much of a workout that was, and is. And, we had some giggles between us as, we tried to do things and maybe didn't do them so great. But I think that that's also the joy of, trying new fitness styles, or just taking a fitness class in general. I feel for me, humor is a way that I can kind of power through something that I'm struggling with or find challenging, or if it really is pushing me to the limit, I'm going to use humor to get through that, okay? This is going to be really hard right now, but I'm going to crack some type of joke and act like I'm a comedian, and I am nowhere near a comedian kind of thing. But it was a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's take a listen to this interview. So today we are at Pole Factory MKE. Thank you so much for having me and my friend today during your class. I'm going to start with, we are recording in studio, and there is a class taking space in the other room, so you might hear some of that in the background. So just beware. You might hear some fun in the background. Yeah. Can you start by telling us a bit about the history and mission of Pole Factory MKE?
Sure, yeah. So I opened Pole Factory about 4 years ago now. And I had kind of been looking for a studio that was in the city of Milwaukee. At the time, there weren't any studios that were in the actual city. They were all kind of more on the outskirts of the Milwaukee area. So I kind of started with selfishly a personal need for a studio. But I also just in general felt that it would be really important to have a stripper-owned studio, and a studio that kind of offered a more inclusive environment, I guess, a bigger variety of people. So yeah, when I opened it, I actually opened it in my apartment and ran it full-time in my apartment for 2 years, which was super crazy. I don't recommend running a full dance studio in your apartment, but I did that. And the original studio was actually right above us in the same building on the 3rd floor. So it was really small concrete floors, very much not luxurious. We had 3 stage poles and 3 regular floor to ceiling poles. But it worked, and we outgrew it within 2 years, and then eventually we moved down here. So that's kind of how it started. At the time, I had been working at a club for about 4 years. I had gotten into competing just in amateur pole competitions, and done all right in those. And then I'd also traveled a lot and just gone to like different studios around the country and kind of brought back all the bits and pieces that I really liked from each studio I went to, and hope to like add that to Pole Factory.
Nice, really nice. So how does pole dancing contribute to overall fitness and well-being? I know I was saying as I was like setting up, I'm like, ooh, I'm already feeling the soreness, you know, from the class and everything. So
yeah, so as you noticed, it is a pretty good full body workout. Yeah, so it's really good for upper body strength, active flexibility. It's calisthenics, you know, using your body weight for most of the moves. And it's extremely dynamic, specifically for pole. It's not like your average workout class, you know, where you're focusing on like a certain motion or a certain muscle group or something. Like you're really doing so many different things, from toe points to pull-ups to going upside down, handstands, all of the things. Yeah, I think that's like what makes it so interesting as well, is like there's not really a ceiling you can hit with it. There's always something more to work on, even if it's just like training your non-dominant side, like we were doing in class, which can be an easy challenge to add.
Yeah. So what are some of the common misconceptions, would you say, about pole dancing as a form of exercise?
Sure. I think the one I hear the most is people are kind of hesitant to sign up for a class because I think it can be intimidating. For one, it's, like I said, not your average workout or dance class. But I think a lot of people are under the impression that they have to come to class with like upper body strength, or they have to be flexible in order to sign up for a class. But actually, when you come to classes, like that's the skills we're going to work on. And really anybody can do it as long as they're okay being a beginner and trying something new, getting out of their comfort zone. The more you come to classes, the more you'll gain the grip strength, the flexibility, all the things you'll need for pole dancing.
Yeah, I didn't think I could do the chair sit. Like, honestly, I laughed. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be. That's
no,
not
but
gonna
then
happen.
you do
And
it.
then I did it. Yeah.
And I think that's the other aspect, is like you don't realize all the things you can do until you come to a class, or you're in here for an open gym and you like almost accidentally do something you never would have expected you'd be able to do. So I think that's another aspect of like mentally it's really beneficial to like build that trust with yourself, and that confidence, and like prove to yourself that you can do all of these things that are really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you describe, we kind of talked about, you know, some of the physical pieces, but the physical benefits and the mental benefits of pole dancing?
Yeah, totally. So physical benefits, it gets you in shape. You know, it's really rewarding. I think, in my opinion, I really got into it because I wasn't really a fan of the gym like I am now. I love the gym now. Never thought I would get to this point, but I started going to a gym, ironically, because I wanted to use it for pole instead of the other way around. But it takes a lot to get good at pole dancing. It's really time consuming, but the rewards are so beneficial. Kind of going into what I was saying before, like you'll surprise yourself with the shapes you can make in the mirror. Like going upside down for the first time is like a power that is like unmatched by anything else that I've experienced, at least. Like I feel like you'll leave class after you've gotten a new move or a new trick that you've been really working towards, just feeling really accomplished and like so much better than when you came into class. And I think it really helps as well to have like other people in class that are cheering you on when they see you doing a move you've never done before, or just in general, like working out in a really supportive environment. Mentally, I think, just building like trust between you and yourself that, you can do it, and it'll probably feel scary, it'll feel hard at the time, but after, it's kind of like a runner's high almost that you get from working out. Like pole definitely has a version of that. And you are kind of like connecting with your body in a way that you don't really do with like, say, a Pilates class or something like that. Like it's kind of just you, the pole, and a mirror, and like whatever you make of it is kind of just like a raw iteration of your creativity, I guess.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, it's a really good way to express yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How do you see, the role of pole dancing evolving in the fitness industry?
So I think it's just going to become like more and more accepted and more popular. As time goes on, it's been really cool to see it pop up at kind of more like regular places. Like you don't see it only in pole studios and only at like strip clubs at this point. It was definitely very cool to see like pole dancers at the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Yeah. Like that's something I didn't think I would see. So I thought that was a really big deal to have pole dancers on like the largest televised sporting event in the entire country. But yeah, I think as time goes on, people will kind of put like biases aside a little bit. It is still a little bit taboo, you know. I think there's a lot of misconceptions that if you take a pole class or you are a pole dancer, that means you're a stripper, and then also like leaning into like, well, why is it so bad to be a stripper, you know, like. So I think as time goes on, it'll be more accepted and people will be less quick to kind of see its origins as a negative thing and appreciate that it's a way to express your sensuality and that most importantly it's okay. And when you have a supportive environment to do it in, it's that much better.
Yeah, so absolutely. Now you offer more than just pole dancing classes. What other classes do you offer? I know one's taking place in the other room right here.
We do have a pretty big variety for classes for a pole studio. I really like to choose my instructors, and they'll usually teach like a regular level class, which is just like our basic curriculum classes. And then I also like to offer them a chance to teach something that's really specific to them. Like for example, we have an instructor who's a gymnast, so she teaches a beginner acrobatics and gymnastics class. That's kind of an opportunity for adults to learn like the basics of like tumbling, gymnastics, and use it as like a cross conditioning class for pole as well. So that's something we offer. We also have aerial sling classes, so the green fabrics that are like hanging up in here. We have those classes as well. We have strength training classes taught from our physical therapist. That's kind of like her specialty class besides the pole classes she teaches. And then right now we have a chair tease class, so that doesn't use the pole at all. It's a like choreography based class where you learn a routine using a chair as a prop. We have twerk classes, splits flexibility classes, and then we also offer obviously like the group classes are our big thing, private classes, open gym, open pole, which is just unguided like practice time for you to work on whatever you feel like you want to. And then pole parties as well are like private group classes for like bachelorette parties, birthdays. We even had like divorce parties, which are fun, of course. Yeah. But yeah, that's everything we offer besides the basic pole classes.
Great. And then how do you create a welcoming and inclusive environment for all the fitness levels?
We have a big variety of instructors. I'll start with that. Because I think when you come to a group class, like of course the attention is kind of on the instructor and like what's their background, what do they look like, you know, what's their vibe. So we do have a good amount of instructors, over half I would say, that are either current or retired strippers, which I think is really important because that's of course like where pole dancing came from. And then we also have our classes open to anybody, so we don't cater them to like any specific gender or anything. Like truly anybody that wants to take a pole class is welcome to sign up for anything that we offer, regardless of gender, experience, anything like that. Some other things we really like to train our instructors with is really focusing on meeting people where they are, not only like fitness wise, but also, you know, like mentally, emotionally, and really like meeting them where they're at to feel like they can benefit from the class.
Okay. Yeah, I felt like very welcomed in the class, you know, like especially, you know, like you said, it can be
feel intimidating in a way to
Mhm.
be like, okay, this is. So I'm like, oh, okay, am I,
Yeah.
and even just like in trying to invite a friend to come along,
Mhm.
everyone's like, oh, I've always wanted to do it. It's on my list of things to try. But I don't know. I just don't know like
Yeah.
how like everyone's going to be like better at it, or well, hey, they have like tried it before, and I was like, well, you have to try new things. Like you can't just, and like the instructors are going to like, they're there to help you and that kind of thing. So it was very welcoming walking in. Like all the other students were really nice and everything too. So I think it was a very welcoming environment. Like just the instant, like, opening the door. So
Good. Well,
yeah,
thanks.
yes,
Yeah, I'm really glad you had that experience. We definitely make a big effort to have like the community aspect. I think is really important. Yeah, and it's very normal to feel nervous before a class. I mean, trying anything new is always scary, and then like let alone pole dancing is like something you've probably never done before.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to put yourself out there, get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah. Can you share any like success stories or like transformations from any of your students?
Sure. Yeah. So I guess this is more like a general success story. But I think after teaching for so many years, I think I've been teaching for like 6 years now. I definitely can like watch the progression of students that come for an intro class. Understandably, people are typically like a little bit more nervous, not really sure what to expect. And then they try the class and they kind of realize that it's a little different than probably what they were expecting. Like they leave kind of pleasantly surprised that there's like all this different dynamic stuff about it. There's like so many different ways you can go with it, whether it's like just working your way up through the levels or like just learning to dance around the pole in heels or not using the pole at all and learning like floor work or any like aspect like that. But I think as time goes on and people come back for more and more classes, they start to kind of get to know themselves in a different way they probably haven't before. And I feel like people come to class like with a little bit more confident posture, and they start to come with like outfits they really like, and maybe they get their first pair of heels, and they're kind of just navigating what it feels like to put themselves out there and be vulnerable and learn that they can do it, and like not only wear the heels but do really well in them and feel good and leave class just feeling like they really are like being assertive in their fitness journey,
That's really nice. What are your future plans for Pole Factory Milwaukee, and do you have any like upcoming events or new classes?
Yeah, so we're always kind of shuffling our classes around since we do have such a big variety. That's kind of always an ongoing thing. Like we do a lot of like monthly pop-up classes that are always kind of changing depending on our instructors and whatnot. As for events, we do 2 big showcases, which are kind of like a recital almost, where all the instructors and students and just like people from all over the community in the Midwest get together and we all perform. So we do one in April typically every year, and then one in October as well. The April one is typically more kind of whatever you'd like to do. Sometimes it'll have a theme, but we're really hope to be like really welcoming to whatever people feel like they really want to show off, and just give people an opportunity to perform everything that they've learned and been training in front of a crowd. And then the October one is for our anniversary every year. So we host that one, and it's October, so that typically ends up being like a Halloween themed one, which is really fun.
Nice. Very cool. Do you have any advice for someone that's hesitant to try pole dancing?
Yeah, like I said, it's very normal to feel all of the things about going to your first class. But I think it's important to keep in mind that all pole dancers were once beginners, and they only learned how to pole dance by taking that first step, coming to a class, probably being terrified, walking in the door, but ending up really liking it and putting in the time and commitment that it takes to see improvement. So yeah, I would say it's all very normal. It's all part of the process, And I think it's really rewarding if you can get through the first couple of classes and see if it's something for you.
And how can our listeners get involved or signed up for classes with Pole Factory MKE?
So our website is definitely going to be the best resource. We have a page specifically for brand new beginners as well, which can be a really helpful resource. Just kind of lays out like what class you'll take for the first time, and then also how to like make an account and all that good stuff. So that's a really good place to check out. We also answer like emails all the time. Instagram DM is really good as well. And then the studio phone number, calling or texting that.
Great. And then is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience?
Just a thank you for coming and doing all this. This was super duper nice of you and much appreciated. And I think especially for a pole studio, not a lot of people know we're here, or as it becomes more popular, this might be like after listening to this podcast, maybe they'll sign up for a class and decide that it is something they do want to try. So it's really nice that you're providing a platform for me to like openly talk about the studio and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Good.
I was surprised. I did my spin, got my spin
you
down.
were crushing it. Yeah, you're great. Yeah.
But it was great. And I'll make sure to have the website with how to register and everything, and pop up classes in the show notes so they can check it out.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Sweet.
Again, thank you so much to Pole Factory MKE for hosting myself and my guest. It really was a great time. I honestly am looking forward to trying out some more classes, including some of the pop-up classes such as hoop dance. So you're going to see some more from me. Next up, I would like to discuss 2 giveaways that are taking place. Thank you so much to Storyhill Firehouse for partnering. And the first giveaway is actually currently live. It's on Instagram, and it's for their speed dating event, ages 26 to 38. And what you can kind of expect from this event, because I was like, what can we, expect? How long are the sessions? Those kind of things. So it's going to be 4-minute rounds. The ladies are going to stay seated. The gentlemen are going to move from place to place. And then admission comes with 1 cocktail. There'll be some type of way for you to track your conversations, the people that you're, meeting. There's also going to be prompts or icebreakers, if you will, to kind of help conversations get going if you need it. It's not required to use, but I think that that's honestly super helpful. I know I do a lot of conferences and things that do speed networking, and I have to say that initially maybe from thing to thing, you'll start off maybe not using them or using them. I feel like it's one or the other. You start using them or you don't use them, or some groups need them and some groups don't need them. So it kind of just depends on the situation. So it's nice to have them, right? So you're not literally just having to pull something out of the air, wasting the time, or having the same conversation every time. It makes it so it can be different each time. If you were to use a different prompt every time, for example. So, but yeah, and then there'll be a break in between, halfway through the event. So there's time to grab another cocktail and use the restroom and maybe take a little mental break if needed. But we're giving away 2 tickets, 1 for a guy, 1 for a lady. And make sure to check that out on Instagram. It's a simple follow, comment, 3 steps to get entered to win that giveaway. And the giveaway winner is going to be picked on February 26th in the evening. So make sure to enter that right away. Once that giveaway is done, the next giveaway will be posted, which is going to be for the flea market, which will be hosted on March 9th. And that is going to be for 2 early bird admission tickets, getting you access to the event before everyone else gets access. And that early bird admission gets you in starting at 11 a.m. So there'll be a lot of really great vendors there. A lot of them I'm well familiar with, and there's a bunch of new ones too. So I can't wait to check it out myself to see all the great products that the vendors have to share. So check it out on Instagram at @1 of a kind MKE, and it's the pinned post. So once the speed dating giveaway is closed out, the flea market post again will be pinned. You can also find details on both events in the link in the bio on Instagram, as well as for the flea market, there is a $5 off promo code for VIP tickets. So check that out as well. And yeah, I think that that's it for now. This was a really great episode. Again, amazing interview. And I'm looking forward to the next Fit Mix, which will be with Helium Hot Yoga. So love me some yoga. Haven't done hot yoga before, so it should be interesting. Gonna start off with the gentle yoga. They offer a gentle yoga option. So gonna go with the gentle yoga flow, and we'll see how that goes. So until next time.